I kind of went there, and because I was having this conversation. But let me get back to where I was, and I don't remember exactly how I got there, and forgive me. But let me get back to where I was. So okay, so everything in the scriptures must be understood through the eyes of these verses. There is nothing new under the sun. Okay, methods may change, but the principle or the precept remains the same. All right, so now we were looking at verse 39. And it shall be to you for a tzitzit, a reminder, and you shall see it, and it shall shall remember all the commands of Yahuah, and shall do them, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went warring. Verse 40. So that you remember and shall do all my commands, and be set apart unto your Elohim. Okay? Now, the question is, for verse 40, according to the scriptures, do we still need tzitzit in order to remind us of Yahuah and remind us of his instructions? According to the scriptures, do we still need this these fringes on the end of our garments to remind us? Absolutely. The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. And then the next natural question is, well, why not? And our quote just responded, the Ruach replaced it. That's why we said that there were three purposes for tzitzit. Number one, they remind us of Yah himself. They remind us of his instructions, and they are prophetic of the seal of the new covenant. What is the seal of the new covenant? The seal of the new covenant is the Ruach, the indwelling Ruach. And we're going to see the difference between the Ruach now and the Ruach then. How did the Ruach operate during the time when tzitzit was required, and how does it operate now? Is there a difference? And if so, what is that difference? We're going to look at that from the scriptures. Okay? Now, let's see. Okay, so, all right, so the purpose, we covered the purpose of tzitzit. Okay, it was a reminder of Yahuah and his instructions. It was prophetic of the coming of the indwelling Ruach. Okay, we also looked at the phrase throughout all your generations. Does it always mean forever, as in for eternity? Now, to answer that question, because this is another reason, so they'll tell you that yes, you must wear tzitzit because it serves as a reminder of Yah's instructions, and a reminder of Yah is to remind us of his commandments, and it sets us apart. Now, does that does tzitzit now, does it really set us apart in the way that Yah expects us to be set apart? Does it have the power to set us apart in the way that Yah expects us to be set apart? And again, the answer to that question is no. Okay? It does not set us apart in the way that Yah expects us to be set apart, and it does not have the power to set us apart in the way that he expects us to be set apart. Okay? Because what he expects from us is righteousness, set apartness. Okay? In the way, truly in the way we live now. It's okay to wear tzitzit. But to think that that makes you righteous, it will not. It has no power to make you righteous. It is only the Ruach, the indwelling Ruach, that can make us righteous. Okay? Only the Ruach that gives that power. Absolutely a quote. So when people teach you that you must wear tzitzit or you're not set apart, that is a false teaching. And we haven't even gotten to the scriptures that shows us this yet, but we're going to get there. Okay? That's false. When they tell you that you must be circumcised in the flesh or you are not set apart, you are not in covenant with Yah, that is false, because circumcision in the flesh has no power to keep you set apart. Okay? The problem was, Yahuah declared that there was a problem with the first covenant. What was the problem with the first covenant? The people would wear tzitzit, they would be circumcised on the eighth day, but they spend the rest of their lives, even while wearing tzitzit, breaking the covenants. Okay, so they're wearing tzitzit, they're circumcised in the flesh, but they spend the rest of their lives breaking Yahuah's covenant. Okay, trampling it. And so it had no power to keep them set apart. Okay? And I find many people today, they're wearing the outward apparel, but it is clear that their hearts have not been renewed. Okay? Your heart must be renewed, your mind must be renewed. Okay? Other than that, it's like working outside all day, being sweating, coming in the house and throwing on some perfume without getting in the shower. Pretty soon you're going to stink. And what happens is, that's exactly what's happening with many of these people. When you see their conversations, 1 minute they're posting stuff that seem to esteem Yah, and the next minute you see them making videos with half-naked women, or in some conversation where the conversation is just not right. You know, or they're cursing, or if they're not outright cursing, they're using abbreviations for curse words. Okay? Is that set apartness? Even though you look set apart, are you set apart? No, you're not. There has not been any change in the heart. You have not, you may be circumcised in the flesh, but your heart has not been circumcised, and that is what's even more important. Okay? Yes, he does, a coat. Yes, so puffed up, and that's what that will lead to. And they begin to measure how long my tzitzit is compared to so-and-so tzitzit. And this, again, there is nothing new under the sun. When we read in the renewed covenant, the Sadducees and the Pharisees did the same thing in Yahusha's day. The scripture says that they made their phylacteries broad. The scriptures tells us that we are to be careful of the leaven of the Pharisees. What is the leaven of the Pharisees? Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Okay? So they say one thing, but they do something else. So they'll tell you all day long that the reason why I wear my tzitzit is because I love Yah, but their actions does not line up with true love for Yah. And so they make their phylacteries broad to be seen of men. Okay? Now, let's see. No love. Absolutely a quote. Okay, so, all right, we're going to go to some scriptures now concerning the phrase throughout all your generations, which is also translated forever. Does it always mean forever as in eternity? And I asked this is one of the questions I asked this lady, and I've asked several people who have emailed me or messaged me on Facebook telling me that I must wear tzitzit, and what I get from some of them is, you know, brother, we like the things you post, but you err greatly in this area, and you've got to come into covenant. You know, that's basically the message that they're sending. And it's telling me you must wear tzitzit. So I asked this lady this last night, and she has not answered yet, and I'm hoping she would. And I encouraged her. I said, you know, I would give you answers, but I'm not interested in giving you answers, because I find that when you just tell a person a thing, all they do is they take it in, chew it up, spit it out, trample it on their foot. Okay? Never considers it, because pride won't let them see the truth. So what you've got to do is you've got to encourage them to search it out. Okay? So I try to encourage her to search it out, and based on her response to it, she stopped responding to me, and she went publicly, started writing foolishness, and I responded to what she wrote publicly. But she has not given me an answer, but we're going to go to those scriptures. So the word forever, or throughout all your generations, does it always mean forever when it is used as in eternity? So let's look at that. That word is used in Exodus chapter 30 and verse 21. That's one of the places where it's used. So let's look at Exodus Shamut chapter 30 and verse 21. We're looking at the word forever, or throughout all your generations. Does it always mean eternity? Does it always mean for all eternity? Because those who teach that you must wear tzitzit points to that phrase or that word and says, see, it says forever. Okay? That means you must wear it forever. Well, does it always mean eternity? And is that what it means within the context of that command? Okay, ultimately we're going to answer that question, but for now we want to find out, does it always mean forever as in eternity? Okay, so Shamut chapter 30, Exodus chapter 30 and verse 21. Verse 21 says, and they shall wash their hands and their feet, lest they die, and it shall be a law forever to them, to him and his seed throughout their generations. Okay, now that's verse 21, but what's the problem there? The problem there is this. If I simply read verse 21, number one, I won't know anything. I won't know what the verse is talking about. And I will also come away saying, well, forever there means forever. Okay? But to understand what forever means, I've got to read the verse in its proper context. Okay? So I cannot begin at verse 21. I must start where the context begins. Okay? So let's back up a little bit. All right? Look at the word and. Okay? And let me look at that before I go to context also a quote. And they shall wash their hands and their feet, lest they die, and it shall be a law forever to them, to him and his seed throughout their generation. And to him and his seed, that's also another clue. And talking about seed, that's another terminology that is often continuation of a thought. Absolutely.